I was at my room staring at the person on my mirror. I was wearing a black dress and a leather jacket with a pair of boots I just bought last month with Cassie. Then, the events from this past week started falling on me. "Lizzie, are you ready?" I heard my mom calling me from downstairs. I forced myself out of my room and out of the doors of my home. The drive to the cemetery was quiet, Dad sending sympathetic glances from the rearview mirror from time to time. "You don't have to go, Liz. I'm sure the Marins would understand," Dad said. Ever since the accident, my parents have been careful with their words to me. Like if they even mentioned Cassie's name once, I would break. "I'm fine, Dad." We came to a stop at the front of the town cemetery. "You guys can go ahead. I'll catch up in a minute," I whispered, barely audible. Mom and Dad gave each other these looks, having a silent discussion whether they should leave me alone. Seriously? "Okay, sweetheart." They got out of the car to go talk to Mrs. and Mr. Marin, leaving me to my thoughts. I didn't want to go out there. I don't know why I even came. It's just hard to think my best friend is dead. Gone. How can someone you lived your whole life with just disappear overnight? How am I just yards away from where Cassie is getting buried? I just don't believe all of this is happening. It must be just a dream. Yeah, that's it. A horrible nightmare that I'm just about to wake up from.
Welcome. Huh. So that whole thing that you just watched was an introduction and the opening of this short story that I wrote in grade 8 called Lost. So, how was it? Did you like it? Yeah, it was grade 8 in Mr. Larson's class, and it says here that it was published on September 29, 2019. So that's when the final draft was really, made, when this masterpiece was really done. So I kind of just, I have it has a special place in my heart. So I just want to read it out and keep it on the internet forever, because that's what we do. I don't really want to explain too much what it's about, because you're going to see what it's about, or don't. It's kind of a hit or miss, hit or miss type of story for some people. You really have to have the intellect to understand the themes in this story. But yeah. After the funeral, if I could even read it. After the funeral, as we were just about to leave, the Marins approached us with tired and teary eyes. "Thank you for coming. I know it must be hard for you too, Lizzie, but I know it means a lot for Cassie for you to be here." Oh, her voice cracked when she said her daughter's name. I was at Cassie's room when the accident happened. I was waiting for her to come home from this summer camp she was so excited about. I couldn't come with her because my Aunt Pamela, who I barely knew, was getting married, and my parents and I had to be there. Mrs. Marin was waiting with me, and we were both so excited to see the bubbly girl named Cassie Marin. Marin? When Cassie didn't come home that night, I felt a jab of pain in my chest, and the next day, we received a phone call. Elizabeth— oh no, we're not on a phone call, never mind. I don't know the story, I haven't read it for a while. Okay guys, listen, I'm the author, but sometimes when the masterpiece just comes to you, it's like Elizabeth? The mention of my name brought me out of my stupor. I realized Mrs. Lara, my English teacher, and the whole class were staring at me. Okay, Mrs. Lara, Mr. Larson, come on. Girl, be creative. It's been months since the funeral and the school has started, giving me no time to process anything. Time goes by fast when you're thinking. And I have been doing a lot of that lately. Would you like to give an example of a metaphor from the story? I looked down at the story, the telltale heart, in front of me. I read the story a billion times, but for some reason I couldn't say anything. So I just shook my head. Mrs. Lara knew how much I love Edgar Allan Poe's work, so she was a bit surprised when I didn't say anything. I know I should pay attention, especially after being called out like that, but my thoughts just couldn't stay away from me. And before I knew it, the bell rang, indicating the end of the day. Lizzie, can you just stay for a second? Mrs. Lara said, just as I was about to leave. She gave me a concerned look. I've heard about what happened, and I'm terribly sorry. Okay, I need to keep it in. I've heard about what happened, and I'm terribly sorry. I hate that look. It's every day, it's all I see. They're treating me as if I'm unstable and would break any minute. Well, girl, the way you're talking, I think you've already been unstable. I started getting impatient. Okay, can I go now? I said in an annoyed tone. Of course, but if you need to talk to anyone, I snapped. There's nothing to talk about. Cassie's dead, and that's it. I was done with all the pity looks. I was done with them telling me to talk about my feelings. Talking won't do anything. Talking won't bring my best friend back. Tell them. I was still fuming when I arrived home, slamming the door shut behind me. I could smell curry coming from the kitchen, making my stomach grumble. My hunger distracted me from my anger. Same girl. I entered the kitchen. I wonder why Mom is home early. Hey Liz, how are you doing? I was making myself a cup of coffee, so I wasn't facing her when she asked me, but I can feel her worrying gaze directed at me. Fine. But just as I was about to leave for my room, she said, Lara called. Right, of course she did. I turned around to face her, regretting ever coming in the kitchen. I know it's been tough for you, but look, I seriously am not in the mood to talk, Mom. Just call me when dinner's ready, okay? After that, I went up to my room, slamming against my door behind me. Okay, girl, chill. I wish Cassie was here. Okay, guys, this is like the emotional part. I wish Cassie was here. She helped make any bad day a decent one. As I lay on my bed, a sudden wave of sadness and loneliness enveloped me. If the weather were different that night, would she have continued driving home? Wait, how old am I? Anyway, sorry. And what if I'd come with Cassie to summer camp? Would it have been different? Would I be in that accident with her, or would we have taken a different path? Would she be here with me right now? I was too tired to stop myself from falling deeper in this pit of what-ifs. I was surprised when I felt tears on my cheeks. I've been crying this entire time. Maybe it was the feeling of loneliness I felt that finally brought out these tears. Or maybe the fact that I won't be seeing Cassie's bubbly person anymore. The tears just kept on falling until I was drained of emotions and finally fell asleep. Yeah. The next day I felt like death. Ironic, I know. I didn't want to get up or move. Normally, in a Saturday morning like this, I would be at Cassie's place. We would talk about the school week and binge watch on Netflix. We would talk about everything and nothing. Now I don't know what to do. I stared at my room ceiling for what felt like hours. Hours have indeed passed, and I guess Mom and Dad noticed the empty seat in the table when they were about to eat breakfast because Mother literally dragged me out of bed. I wasn't in a good mood that morning. Dad obviously didn't notice my sour mood, so he kept on asking me questions about school. I cut him off and said that I'm going out for a walk, ignoring my parents' calls from the kitchen, not even bothering to change or check myself in the mirror. I stomped out of that house. I wanted a break from the world. Okay, here's another emotional moment. Part 2. Tree 2. I wanted a break from the world, a break from reality. The past months have been exhausting, and I feel like I'm slowly losing my sanity. Bars! As I reached the town park, brushing off the weird looks people keep giving me, a familiar dirt path brought out some memories. I smiled. I followed the dirt path, bringing me to the most beautiful place in town, the waterfall. Cassie and I always come here whenever we have the time, or when we just feel like we want to relax. This is like a sacred place for us, and this is my first time ever coming here alone. We both made this rule we'd never come out here alone, just in case anything would happen. We've known this place for as long as I can remember, and I can remember every single memory they made here. The memories of us splashing in the water like little kids, just hanging out by the rocks, brought a smile to my face. We've always wanted to build our own cabin just near the waterfall, the darn waterfall, so we can wake up to it every day. We also talk about things like graduation and prom, what colleges we'd want to go to, and what majors we're considering taking. I just hope we're still friends in the future, I remember myself saying. Okay. I just hope we're still friends in the future. I imagine they were kids. I don't know. I remember myself saying, of course we will. Meanwhile, this girl is like I'm best friends with a matured woman, apparently. Of course we will. I can't imagine why you'd want to get rid of me, she smirked. Oh. The memory made me chuckle to myself, relieving me from my mood this morning. I checked my phone to see what time it was when I saw the missed calls. Oh, from Mom and Dad. I decided it was time I talked to them. Okay? It wasn't fair shutting them out and getting angry all the time. Okay, this is her, revelation moment. As I was about to leave, oh, never mind. I had this strange feeling. I decided to say one last final goodbye. I'll see you around, Cassie. The wind picked up, making the trees sway. And consider me insane? Consider me insane? Oh gosh. Consider me insane? But I swear, it looked like the trees were waving. Gosh, I feel like actual days passed as I read that. It's so interesting looking back in your past work and trying to understand the mindset you were in. Because I remember, I think I wrote this while I was also reading a book. I don't have the book anymore, unfortunately, but I remember it was called The Hollow, I think? The Hollow by, hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the book is called The Hollow by Jessica Verde, and I'm not kidding you. I think I stole the story piece by piece, or moments from the story I took and then I twisted it in my own way, but it's still kind of similar. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. First of all, my story does not have a climax. Let's be honest. What? She decided she was just being a jerk, and she decided she was not going to be a jerk anymore. So my story didn't have a turning point. My story literally was just angst. Constant angst. I remember I looked up the 5 stages of grief, and if I remember them correctly, it's okay, number 1 is loss of hope about the future. Number 2 is feeling directionless, lost, or confused about your life. Number 3 is difficulty concentrating. Okay, I don't think these are right, but something along the lines of depression, anger, denial. Denial was a big one. Bargaining, that's the what if stage. Oh, denial's the first stage. Anger is the second stage, which we saw a lot. Anger, angst, whatever. Bargaining, the what if paragraph. Depression, and then finally acceptance. So even in those, I don't know, I could have done it differently so that the book would have had a climax, but I just didn't. I did it like it was an assignment and I had to like fill in the blanks for each one. What is a depressing moment? What is an angry moment? Like, you know what I mean? Just, I wasn't an author. I won't say that I am now, but I feel like I've gotten better. I know that stories need climaxes to be a story. But anyway, going back to The Hollow by Jessica Verde. So I searched up the book, right? And I'm gonna read you the the little blurb that tells you a little bit about the story on Goodreads. So it says like, a love like no other. When Abby's best friend, Kristen, vanishes at the bridge near Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, everyone else is all too quick to accept that Kristen is dead, and rumors fly around that her death was no accident. Abby goes through the motions of mourning her best friend, but privately she refuses to believe that Kristen is really gone. Then she meets Caspian, and then yeah, that's the whole love story. But you know what I mean? I stole that whole part, bro. I was literally reading this book and I said, actually, I love endear so put close to my heart. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. Words aren't my thing. Like, listen, even back then, I thought I was the coolest girl ever for writing this story. I submitted that to Mr. Larson, my teacher, English teacher, and I thought, damn, I could have been an author. I'm not going to be an author because that would be disappointing for my parents. I was more of a scientific girl, and it shows from this story. But I really did think I wrote freaking New York Times bestseller, bro. I really did think that. But yeah, that's my short story from grade 8. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I am going to record. I'm recording this before I recorded like the first part. I am gonna have to record that before I edit this video. I just realized that. That's making me feel kind of lazy, bro. I've never posted a YouTube video, and so I thought of this idea and I'm like, I've never seen this on YouTube, so why not? And then I could look back on this video and be like, oh yeah, I remember that cringy short story I made that I definitely did not steal from a book that I was reading at the time. So yeah, bye.